Hey guys, it's Slushy for Terror Pictures. Now, actually, I'm going to make a video about how to make a good slasher movie. Now, it seems like when you make bad slasher movies, everyone remembers those more than they do the really good ones. Like if in a franchise, like let's say Friday the 13th. Let's see, they had Part 5 that was garbage in my opinion, Part 9 that was garbage in my opinion, and Jason X gets a lot of hate, and I can understand the hate, but I think it's a fun movie. It's not garbage like Jason Goes to Hell. It has Jason for the full movie, so that's one thing I can say that was good. And it actually had Jason, unlike Part 5. And it had some pretty cool kills, so it was worth watching. It's not like a huge disappointment. It is a disappointment because it's in space. But other than that, if they had that on Crystal Lake and they had the same exact kills, maybe, I think that would be a great movie. But anyway, I'm going to talk about how to make a good slasher movie. And to be honest, I don't think anything really has to do with the whole concept that you're having. It doesn't matter where you're putting your character. You can make any type of movie scary. Like I feel like Jason X could have been really cool. I think they did it in a wrong way. I can't personally speculate and say how I would have done it because I really wouldn't have put Jason in space. It's not something I would do. But what I'm trying to say is that just about any idea can become a cool idea and a good idea. Um, the ways that I make my slasher movies is I go into it creating this character in my head. Like I've made several of my own unique slasher movies. The Stalker, based off of a creepypasta, but more so based off my own idea. It just took the name, The Stalker. I did another film called was it Death Wish? That was my own idea. It was basically me. It was just it's literally just me. That's I never actually came up with the plot for it. It's mainly just me killing people, and I'm like this angry person who gets possessed by this evil entity, which is the beginning of the movie. If you've seen Death Wish, then you know at the beginning of the movie, the door opens, this hand reaches out, grabs me, and throws me. I'm laying there stiff, and then I sit up really quick. That's because I've been possessed by this demon thing that was hunting me down. Which is why, if you see the phone later on, it says a message to one of this guy's friends that says, "Help me." But I never got to send it, obviously, because the demon possessed me. So I think that was a pretty cool film and a cool idea. Hardly any story, but more so it's just small things that you have to look at to gather the story. Like I don't hand it out to you on a silver platter. You have to search for the story, which I think is a cool idea. Most people make it obvious. Jason's story I think could be more complicated. Like if I know, don't judge me harshly on this, but if someone told me, listen, Cameron, you're going to be directing the new Friday the 13th movie in a year. We need you to write your idea because we cannot find a writer to do it. The first idea that would come to mind, I actually have two ideas. One would be taking place in winter. It sounds stupid, but give me a second. These people are on this ski resort or this winter resort from South Carolina, not South Carolina, from New York, and wait, what the hell am I even saying? On their way from California to New York, because obviously Crystal Lake supposedly takes place in New Jersey, which still doesn't make any sense. I would say, honestly, a good place for Crystal Lake would be like Alabama. So in this instance, I would put it in more of a southern state, Crystal Lake. And so these people are passing through to go to New York to their winter resort. Obviously, something happens. Their buses break down, and who should come out of the woods? Jason Voorhees, and that's where we introduce him. I thought that would be a cool idea, and it'd still be in summer, but in New York it'd be wintertime. Like the season is winter, but obviously it doesn't snow in all the hot places. So yeah, I think that would be a pretty cool idea. But the other idea I had was telling more of the story of Jason, like who's Elias, Jason's father. Developed a story between Elias, Pamela, and Jason. Get to know those guys. Like spend maybe like 20 to 30 minutes of the movie, and then spend the last hour and the last hour and 25 minutes of the movie strictly getting into the Jason Voorhees that we all know and love. Therefore, you don't spend 50 almost an hour talking about his childhood, but you get to know him. I know some people hate that. I know some people hate movies where the childhood gets developed, but I personally believe that they help you give this connection to the character. Like you see that this was an actual person, then slowly but surely you see him transform. Like you see him as a kid getting bullied all the time. He's getting beat up by his father, getting tormented by everything, and then obviously he supposedly drowns. My plot twist would be he never actually drowned, and his mother made up this story just so she can go on this rampage of killing people because she was like this. She's the real psychopath. That's how my story would go. She's the lunatic. Jason's the normal one. In fact, the reason why I made him out to be to hide off in that woods after in part two, here's how I summed up the first two movies, is that after he supposedly drowned, Pamela got him out. He never drowned, and he just hid off in the woods. That way no one could ever see him, mess with him again. Or she intended for that to happen. She built this shelter for him out in the woods to hide him away from the world so she could still go on her rampage. But she never expected to be killed, obviously, because she thought she was immortal, like the future Jason was going on to become. And I want to say that I hate movies where they make the killer supernatural. Despite the fact that I like some of those Jason movies that became supernatural, like Part 6, Part 7, and then Halloween 4 and 5, those were all really cool movies besides 5. That's the exception. That movie was so strange, but I still love Michael Myers' parts in it. The other parts were garbage, but Michael Myers' parts in it was pretty cool, which is the character that you got to pay attention to. So that's really my main focus when I watch Michael Myers movie. Really, for the fans, I think the way that you make a good horror movie that makes money and gets new people to watch these horror movies is, number one, do something different. People have already seen Jason kill on the screen. People have already seen Michael Myers, Leatherface, Freddy Krueger, Chucky, all these Jigsaw. We've seen all these guys kill. We have not seen any new killers be developed, besides like Happy Death Day. That was one cool idea, but it's not like a full slasher film. It's more of like a psychological horror film. Because it all plays into her head. She's in this alternate reality and stuff that's very different from any slasher movies I've ever seen, which is why I love it. And it comes at a time when that's another thing I want to say is it comes at a time whenever people are watching movies for different reasons. Like in the 90s, people didn't care what the hell they watched. They just wanted to watch some damn movies. In the 2000s, people started to want to watch gore, violence, gruesome as hell kills. People wanted that. They requested. That's why movies like Saw came about. Freddy vs. Jason's bloody as hell. Like insanely bloody, beyond what it should be, almost comically bloody. And then now we want stories. We don't really care. We've lost that attraction for blood, gore. We want more so blood and gore mixed into a story. Like we want to see some gruesome as hell kills. We want some violence in our horror films. But we also want to develop a character traits between these people, and we want to develop a story, like a reason why this is happening. Which is why I respect Rob Zombie. I could totally understand why people hated the movies, but I respect him for at least trying, to dig deeper. Everybody else was always just, oh, Michael Myers, stab, stab, stab. It was never anything else. It was just the most easy plot. I mean, that's like the equivalence of making a Michael Myers movie without digging deeper is like a 12th grader in high school, or telling a college student count to 10. Like that's like the easiest thing to do. Like I could give me a camera, give me some actors, give me a budget. I can go out and film a Michael Myers movie right now and make it as good as the ones from the 80s. And most of them didn't even have a plot though. Like I said, the exception being Halloween 4. That movie was incredible, and I think they did that amazing. And they did something different. And obviously Halloween 5 tried to copy them, but failed desperately. But yeah, that's my opinion on how to make good slasher movies. Another thing you have to keep in mind is sometimes it's not even actors, it's not directors, producers, writers. Sometimes it's just the character. It's like, what does your character do that makes them all the more different than Michael Myers or Jason or Krueger or Jigsaw? What makes them different? What makes them so cool? And I think that's the one interesting thing that's so cool about making movies is risk-taking. And just making new things, creating things. That's why I love YouTube. That's why I love making movies, and that's why I love supporting people who do both. That's why I can't wait to get into it myself. I can guarantee you will be seeing some unique slashers from me. That being said, I will also probably be at some point making remakes of films that you've already seen. But like I said, using my own concept and recreating the ideas that I so much love. And I want to say this to people who say, oh, you're a young guy, you don't care about the old movies. I love the old movies. I grew up with the old movies. I never watched any of the new movies until like a couple years ago. So I love Halloween 4 is my favorite movie. But that's all the time I have for now. I'll see you in the next episode. Bye bye.